time and time and again to get them right while they're still on paper, because nowadays there's so many people involved. We can't go out and shoot stuff and do retakes or whatever. It has to be sort of sorted and planned in advance. Something I find working with Nick is Nick's sense of composition. He would draw all his stuff out there, beautiful storyboards. And I think he shared that love of like old British comics. It did remind me of like reading the Beano or something. A solid style of storytelling, which has certainly resonated to. I suppose it's an age thing as well. I mean, his imagery, because being brought up in Preston, it's all the terraced houses and that. So it reminded me very much of mine, sort of, origins in Leicester, sort of little terrace street. I mean, that was the landscape we were working. And in fact, I mean, Wallace and Gromit's room as well was the spitting image of my grandmother's house where I was born. The tiled fireplace, all the knickknacks on the mantelpiece, the wallpaper that doesn't match. All of that stuff, which I think why Nick's stuff is so strong, really, because it is all from his memory. It's stuff that he draws out of himself. I've always found it very easy to work with Nick, particularly because I know with Nick, I mean, you can offer him things, he'll like them straight away, or he'll say, oh, he'll think about it, or he'll say, no, that's not that. Nick's a great filter of how something should work, and that's why I think his films always work out well. He has got it in his head, and if it's not quite there at the point you offer him something, he'll work it around and see if it fits in, if one shot fits with another, and if that's the sort of look he's after. So he's quite open to different ideas, but he has some very strong ideas of how a story should be told or what the characters should be doing. It's probably a little bit more difficult on later films because there's so many more people involved. I mean, the early films, Wrong Trousers and Close Shave and that, it was such a small crew. Communication was quite direct and quick and easy access. Basically, we're working in the same room most of the time. But these days, there's a lot of people, a lot of sets. To get Nick's time, it's actually quite difficult these days. There's a storyboard, which again, he doesn't actually draw the storyboards now, which he would have done originally. He'll discuss it with a story team, they'll come up with boards and they'll be tried in edit. So things in animation have to be tried out time and time and again to get them right while they're still on paper, because nowadays there's so many people involved. We can't go out and shoot stuff and do retakes. It has to be sorted and planned in advance. That'll be handed down to the studio floor, myself or anybody else in the camera department, but actually try and set up the camera according to that drawing, whatever. We've already discussed what the mood of the film is and sort of lighting it accordingly. And then eventually, when we've got Nick's time, he'll be able to come down and we'll see what the reaction is to it. Is this what he wanted? Sometimes absolutely fine. Sometimes no. He's got a different idea now, or this isn't quite how he interpreted it. So very quickly, we'll actually readjust and hopefully, get it right in his head, because I say it's his mind that's actually put the story together. But and it's something I'm always trying to get out of him. What is the purpose of this shot? What do you want the audience to feel like? Now, I think in terms of the actual light, I'll leave it to whoever's lighting it. But he'll certainly make a comment if it's not right. No, I think that's too warm, or I think that's too alienating. I don't think that this should be more welcoming. I mean, he'll talk in quite broad terms about how it should be, but you have to start somewhere.